Rightio guys, going to be putting a new belt on today because this belt was a pretty average Chinese belt. Obviously you can see there it's full, just lasted all of a couple of days, and that's all she's saying. So going to be changing her over, as well as putting some new bearings in the jack shaft. Yeah, so basically I managed to over tension my belt, and these cheap Chinese bearings are basically stuffed now. They make a little clicking noise. You sort of hear that. That's not meant to be there. There's a little clicking noise there. So we'll fix that up. Hopefully put some new bearings in. We're going to replace them with these bearings that I bought. Basically glorified skateboard bearings. Enduro Max bearings. I've never really heard of them, but they look pretty good. Got them from MTB Direct. They look pretty nice. They're pretty expensive. They're about $12 each, and you need 4 of them, so a bit pricey, but hopefully they should be pretty darn mint. Yeah, so first off, let's get the swing arm off, get that out of there, get the jack shaft out, get the belt off, and happy days. So this right here, guys, this is me fancy little tool that I made up for this special little nut. I think you can definitely buy these. I can't remember what they're actually called, but I made one up with a socket and a grinder, and goes on there quite nicely. So halfway through doing this, replacing the bearings in this jack shaft, came out pretty smoothly and easy. Both bearings popped out, so my jack shaft is the 4-bearing jack shaft, the newer jack shaft, which is kind of nice. So all I did to get them out, there's a few people on the internet really probably don't show you the right way to do it. This is the best way I found to do it. Basically get your screwdriver and get it down in there, and you'll see this spacer. So there's a spacer that goes in there, and then you got your 2 bearings, right? So what I did is so this spacer moves, so it moves left to right. I really don't know if you can see that. So all I did to get it out is I basically put the screwdriver down in there, flat blade, put it down in there, went to one side, hard on the left, and so I'm just sort of on the left side of the bearing there, like that. Banged a couple times. And then once I banged a couple times on that side, I'd then go to this side, bang a couple times on that side, and just keep doing that. And just a couple of firm bangs, and you just keep alternating, and eventually it just pops out. So the first thing that pops out is this dust cover. So this dust cover comes out. So I did it all in one go. I didn't try and pull the dust cover out because that would have wrecked the dust cover. Dust covers are quite fragile and easy to wreck. So I just basically did it all in one go. This popped out, bearing, then next was first bearing, then the second bearing. Quite simple. And all I used was a bit of the old duct tape there, and there's my thingo. Bit of the old duct tape there, and it's actually perfect. It just sits right down in there. Pretty mint. Rightio, other side bearings out. Now I just wanted to quickly touch on something that I didn't realise, and Jared actually managed to figure it out. The other side, which is the secondary drive side, actually has a little race. So you have to take this sprocket off to get the bearing out. So it has a little race that sits in there, and then the bearing actually sits like that and so you're never actually going to get it out. So, yeah, just a hot tip there. But this is my problem. Look at this bearing. How rank. It is like got all the rust on it. And obviously it was, I don't really think tightening the belt the way I did actually did. It was probably just over time wear and tear, and then, yeah, the last little over tension of the belt sort of made it cook itself. I mean, I could have kept riding like it for a fair bit longer, but it was about time, a bit janky. Now, for a lot of people, this will be like me trying to tell you how to suck lemons. But for those people that haven't really done much mechanic work before or really done anything of that nature, how I basically push this bearing in is I basically just very carefully got it started, made sure it was seating in there well, and then just got a rag and very carefully with a hammer just even force straight down onto it. And then once it was sort of in there and I got it started, then I basically got a socket pretty much the same size as the outer race of the bearing, so you're not pushing on the center of the bearing. And then I basically just, gave it some nice firm taps. Basically chucked a bit of WD-40 around the edges to make sure it slides in there well and doesn't grip up. And that's all there really was to it. And then now I'll do the other bearing. Just remembering to be careful because obviously you don't want to wreck these bearings. Now I've greased up the dust seal there, and now we're going to put the secondary drive sprocket on, and that will just sit in there like so, just like that. And put a little bit of blue Loctite on our bolts and screw them on in, and that's that side done. And then we'll do this side. Jack shaft all rebuilt, just like that. All 4 new bearings replaced, greased up, cleaned up, all done. Now, for people that might have not realised when they pulled it apart, short spacer on the pulley side, long spacer on the drive side. And that's all there really is to it. It's quite simple. You just got to take your time with it. Don't rush because you'll end up wrecking things. I'm now going to slap it in, put a new belt on, slap it in. Done this 1,000 times before now, so I'm pretty quick at it, so I'll just do that off camera. New belts on. You sort of run them, I don't know, every belt's different. It's a hard one to really know without reading up on the specs of the actual belt and having a proper belt checker. But yeah, that feels all right to me. But yeah, replaced the bearings, put a new belt on, greased everything up, just a bit of general servicing. Always good to do. Now I'm going to lube my chain and go shred, go rip it up.
So just a quick add to Truett's mention. So this belt is meant to be an equivalent of the Gates belt that's around at the moment. Not sure whether it is, but yeah, the tension is obviously different per the product. But one way to tension it, obviously you need to loosen this bolt and this bolt here, and then on the other side as well. And then what you want to do is get a screwdriver in here, and you'll see you've got this metal shaft that runs here. Put the screwdriver here, physically angle it up and push this up till you get the tension that you want. It has little notches so it will stay in place. And Truett's going to go for a ride now, just test it. We'll check the tension. We won't put the cover back on yet. Probably check it, over 10 minutes worth of ride, see what it's like. And then see if you need a retension or loosen it to suit if it's screaming its head off. I mean, you'll know, you can hear it. And then obviously probably another couple of weeks we'll check the tension again, and that's what you do with the belt.